Hi, it's Helen, and this class is a pre-meditation movement class. It'll only take a couple of minutes just to help you get rid of any kinks and enable you to sit in stillness for a while. We'll start in child's pose. So bring the knees as wide as the mat with the big toes together, seat to heels, and start to walk the upper body forward, hands planted on the earth. You can bring the forehead to the floor. If you find it difficult to have your knees wide, you can always bring them together. And start to breathe here, centering in. Notice if there's any tightness in any part of the body. Maybe the hips, maybe the shoulders. If you can feel that, just mentally send the breath there and try to soften. Then on inhale, we'll come up to all fours. So plant the hands directly underneath the shoulders and the knees are directly underneath the hips, and we'll do a few rounds of cat-cow. So on an inhale, the belly dips and the chest lifts. As you exhale, round the back, protracting the shoulder blades, tucking the pelvis, reversing the movement. Inhale, head lifts and belly dips. Exhale, round back. Inhale, head lifts, belly dips. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, head lifts, belly dips. Exhale, reverse. And then come to a neutral spine. Plant the left hand directly underneath the left shoulder. On an inhale, the right arm lifts to the sky, and as you exhale, thread the needle underneath. So right shoulder and right cheek come to the mat. You can reach this left hand out in front. Feeling the twist in the mid-back. Breathe here. And then bring the left hand back underneath the left shoulder. Right arm comes up to the sky, and exhale, right hand to the mat. Inhale, left arm comes up. Exhale, thread the needle, left shoulder, left ear to the mat. Maybe reach this right hand in front, palm to the earth. Breathe here. Trying to keep the shoulder away from the ear. And then plant the hand. Left arm comes back. Left hand comes down. We'll do something called wagging the dog. So as you exhale, shift the hips to the right and look over the right shoulders. So you're trying to shorten this distance here and elongating the left side body. And then to the other side. A few of these, just in time with your breath, thinking about shortening the side that you're looking over the shoulder and lengthening the other side. Just a little bit of lateral flexion of the spine. And then return to neutral. Plant the hands about one handprint in front. Can be shoulder width or slightly wider or narrower depending on your own body. Tuck the toes and lift the sit bones to the sky, and we'll come into downward facing dog. So you can keep the knees bent and the heels can be lifted. Engage the core, sit bones come up, widen the upper back, widen the collarbones. And think about lengthening the spine. Now your feet may feel better if they're slightly wider than hip width. So you can play around with what feels good in your body here. Maybe you want to walk the dog a bit, waking up the hamstrings. And then start to settle. The heels descend towards the floor, they never need to touch. Then look forward and bring this right foot up between the hands. So you may need to get it there manually. Get it there any way you can. And start to descend into these hips. So keeping the knee above the ankle. Lifting the head, bringing the chest forward. Pulling this right hip back and this left hip forward. Feeling the stretch in the left hip flexor. Using the breath. Mentally sending it to where there's tightness. And then pull this right hip back and we'll come into half split. So you may be up here like this. If you have blocks, their hand, it's always good to have your hands on something. It gives you a reference. Just a gentle opening of the back of the leg. And then come forward and we'll bring this foot out to the side. So you're externally rotating this hip. The ball of the foot is maybe just outside of the right side of the mat. You can tuck the back toes and sit back towards the left heel. So this is just getting into the outer hip here. Noticing what's stopping you, whether it's tension or compression. I can feel a big area of tightness here. And inhale, come up and return the knee to the floor. We'll come back up briefly into downward facing dog, pedaling out the feet. Then look forward and step the left foot up, right knee descends, left knee above left ankle. Chest comes through the gates of the arms, descending into the hips, pulling this left hip back and the right hip forward. Just enjoying this stretch here into this right hip flexor. Paying attention to what your body's telling you, not going too deep. And then pulling these hips back and coming into half split on the other side. You may find one side easier than the other, that's perfectly natural. Just being content with your level of flexibility, not comparing yourself to me or anyone else. We've all got different bodies, different biographies, different stories about where we are in life. And inhale, come forward, plant the hands, and then this ball of the left foot comes outside of the left side of the mat, and we'll sit back towards this right hip, getting in to the left hip. So right seat to heels, lengthening out of the spine, not tensing the shoulders. Then inhale, coming back up, releasing the knee back to the mat. And then come to sit on the heels. So if you find it difficult to sit directly on the heels, you can always put a blanket in between the thighs and the calves. We'll just do some opening of the upper body. So on an inhale, press the arms out to the side as far as possible as they'll go, as if you're pushing apart two walls. And then take the right arm and put it over the left, so I'm not mirroring you. This might be your position, and you can hug yourself, sometimes known as Hugasana. Otherwise, you may be able to bring the backs of the hands together, or even the palms. Whatever position you're in, bring your awareness, the space between the shoulder blades, lift the elbows, maybe push the arms away, and you should feel a stretch all down the mid-back. Breathing here. And inhale, spread them apart. And then this time the left elbow comes over the right. Again, maybe Hugasana, maybe backs of the hands together, maybe the palms. Lifting the elbows, pushing the hands away. I can really feel it on this side compared to the other. It feels so good to open the back like this, and the shoulders. Then inhale, release, pressing out to the side, and bring the palms to the lap. So hopefully now you're a little warmed up, and you'll find it a bit more accessible to sit in a comfortable seated position to enjoy your meditation. Thank you.